Today's episode is brought to you by Brytn Smile. Now, you guys need to keep your mouths clean, keep your mouths white, and keep your mouths bright between dentist visits. I get it, I understand. So here's where Brytn Smile come into play. Yes, good old Brytn Smile. Now, in this whitening kit, it comes with a multitude of things that you need. Starters, you're going to need a user manual on how to operate the devices that come with it. Next up, you have a shade chart to keep you posted on where your teeth fall on the chart. Today's episode is brought to you by Brytn Smile. Now, you guys need to keep your mouths clean, keep your mouths white, and keep your mouth. Today's episode is brought to you by Brytn Smile. Now, you guys need to keep your mouths clean, keep your mouths white, and keep your mouths bright between dentist visits. I get it, I understand. So here's where Brytn Smile come into play. Yes, good old Brytn Smile. Now, in this whitening kit, it comes with a multitude of things that you need. Starters, you're going to need a user manual on how to operate the devices that come with it. Next up, you have a shade chart to keep you posted on where your teeth fall on the chart. That is very beneficial. Also, these gel pens. Put the gel on each tooth. Do it correctly. Follow the manual. And, well, you know, we have a charger. It comes with a charger. I wonder why. That's right, an LED mouthpiece. This is very beneficial, y'all, as y'all can see. For the blue, it is on for 15 minutes. And once that is done, let's go purple, pink, whatever color you prefer to call it. Let's do that for 10 minutes. Go to Brytn Smile. The link is located in the description. Grab a kit, put it in your shopping cart. And when you get to the checkout, the promo code is BTSI for 25% off. Again, BTSI for 25% off.
No problem, Jennifer. Let's go ahead and get started. What's going on, y'all? Welcome to the B.TS Side Show. I'm your host, Christopher J. Just like last week, we're in a different location. I am at one of the parks in Houston. Unfortunately, my house is still contagious of COVID, and it's going to be a while before I start recording back at home. This was a last minute thing because I thought I would be home recording, but a little longer. Hopefully, this doesn't take forever. But thank you guys for joining me. Before we get started, you guys know what you need to do. I want all of y'all to like this video and subscribe to my YouTube page. Follow me on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, Twitter, and Clubhouse. Also, if you would like to make a cash donation, Cash App is the B.TS Show, or if you're watching on YouTube, you are more than welcome to send a super chat. But we are still doing cash giveaway. Soon as we get to 1,000 subscribers, I will give one lucky person $100. Just one lucky person, $100. And so you guys know I'm a man of my word. We're almost at 500 subscribers. Once we reach that goal, I will give one lucky person $50. Just one. Now, I was going to do this in quick hits, but I think it's appropriate we do this now before we go to our second out of the day. I do want to send out a rest in peace to Bob Saget. Of course, everybody knows that's Danny Timberlake from Full House. That was one of my favorite TV dads in the 90s. And when I saw, and this is how you know I've been busy. I didn't know that this man passed away to the following day. Everybody reached out, send their condolences. I want to be respectful and send mine as well. So to Bob Saget and his family, my condolences. My heart is with you guys. Rest in peace to one of the greatest TV dads in history. Now, with that being stated, let's get into FNX, and once we're done, we will be back with quick hits.
Today's episode is brought to you by FNX. If you're looking to lose weight, gain weight in the most healthiest way possible, FNX is where you need to go. You're talking about a section you're looking to gain weight. There's a section you're trying to lose weight. There's also even a section you're trying to better your performance when you're out there trying to be the best you. Please go to the link that is in this video. But also, you have to look the part. We're trying to unlock that inner athlete in you. Speaking of inner athlete, hey, you know how we get down. So, fill up your shopping carts. Once you get to checkout, use the promo code BTSI for 15% off. Again, BTSI for 50% off at checkout.
All right, let's go ahead and do a little quick hit, shall we? Um, Two and a half topics, and we're gonna get to the why we did the show today. Ari Fletcher got dropped by Savage Fenty. Yes, it was only a matter of time. I had somebody still gonna have to explain to me who is Ari Fletcher and what is she famous for? Does she sing? Does she act? Does she dance? I know she acts her ass on social media every now and then, but I don't. But hey, that's neither here or there. But her comments about insinuating, to be honest, it's not the comments of her insinuating domestic violence between her and Moneybag. It's what got her fired. It's the live she did where she was like, "We don't care about what you're saying. You ugly." This, that, and third. See, that's borderline retarded on her part anyway, and she got dropped and she deserves it. But I want to tackle this from a different way. I wonder who reached out to who first. If Ari reached out to Rihanna, or if Ari's people reached out to Rihanna and Savage Fenty, she's a dumbass, a complete utter dumbass. Well, more than a dumbass than what she is today. But if Rihanna reached out to her, I don't know. I gotta say that she got to hold an L on that regards as far as signing her, having some type of investment into her. I know we're at today's social media influence, which is perfectly fine because I'm a social media influencer myself. I guess I'm a brand ambassador for these companies, so I get it. I understand. Granted, they all came to me, and that's why I brought this up. All of these brands came to me and they had an idea of who I am and what I do and what I say. So since I happen to stay within the boundaries that I created for myself, it may be within the guidelines. It may exceed the guidelines. Regardless, I'm gonna be myself. And if they drive me, cool. It's all good. And if that's the case for Ari Fletcher, she needs to have that same energy as well. Maybe she's crying in the shower. Maybe, who knows? But let's but yeah, we don't condone domestic violence any type of way, shape, or form. Whatever happened to Ari Fletcher, she deserved it. She had that comment. Now, next up, Maya Angelou becomes the first black woman to appear on the U.S. court, according to those from Hollywood Unlocked. You guys, I'm gonna be real. I can care less about this. Congratulations to the family or whoever the case may be, but this is just symbolism again. And this goes in line with the Harriet Tubman supposed to be on the $20 bill. I don't. I want black people to really understand this. America is not here to save us. They're here to shut us up. And this is how they go about it. We put Harriet Tubman on the $20 bill. Shut up. We put Maya Angelou on the 25 on the quarter, which no one asked for. Shut up. This country is trying to drown people in symbolism versus actual real solutions. So if people are happy about this, this will dictate where this country is going, and I hope this will finally let people know to wake up. And by actually homegrowning their own politicians, what do I mean by that? I said this last year during the, well, 2 years ago, I guess, a year and a half ago, after the George Floyd killing, where the protest was going on. We need to start homegrowing our own politicians. We need to grow them from scratch. That way, we know who they are, we know where they're from. Not only do we give them our full support, we give them our financial support, and we come out in droves and vote them in. Because once we vote our own people in, that way change will just start to happen. This way, we can do it this way versus actually the other way, which the government doesn't want to do, and that's affecting their pockets. Once you start to affect the government's pockets, you are going to see change done. Now, granted, it might come at a cost, your freedom or your life. Because, case in point, Black Wall Street, people think Black, hey, man, what's going on? People think Black Wall Street failed because of the success of Black Wall Street. No, Black Wall Street failed because there was a political campaign going on at the time. And black people came out in droves and they almost won that particular campaign. The next 2 or 4 years later, they surely was going to win. Now, the white people back then knew about that. So what did they have to do? They had to destroy Black Wall Street to put some type of fear in them because they're about to affect their pockets. Here's a second example. MLK. People think MLK died because he wants because of social injustice. Not really, because the government didn't really care about that. Hell, they don't care about that today, as long as you're not affecting their money. So it slipped out that MLK was going to do a rich poor march, where you have rich folks and poor folks, homeless people, to kind of affect the economy. I guess something to that extent. That got him killed. That was the main reason why he got killed. Once you start to affect the government's pockets, change will get done or lives will be lost. So you could put Maya Angelou on the quarter. You could put Harriet Tubman on the $20 bill. That's not doing nothing for black people. That's symbolism. Black people, we need to get past symbolism. Once we get past, leave that crap for the children. But once we get past that and actually focus on what really matters, like getting money into the community our own way, we're gonna go in a continuous circle of health for this country. Now that was a quick hit, but I want to quick before we go get into the show. I wanted to talk about what I found out moments ago about the Pfizer, the CEO, the billionaire, saying that the first and second dose does not work. Won't work on Omicron. The first and second dose never worked. So people who taken Pfizer, it was all for nothing. Now I gotta ask, what the hell did you put in our bodies? Hell, what the hell did you put in my wife's body? Because she took Pfizer, I got Moderna. So not only did they really hurt the faith of people who actually believe in that, now people saying, well, what do we need to do? Ladies and gentlemen, vitamin C, vitamin D, and zinc. Vitamin C, vitamin D, and zinc. Those are the three components. There is vitamin B as well, but I want to. There's a particular vitamin B you need to take. So please just focus on vitamin C, vitamin D, and zinc. Focus on those three things. Of course, put other vitamins inside your body. Of course, we get that, but focus on those. And let's build our immune system. We gave the government a chance, and now here we are. So it's all good. We're not doing that again. So that was quick hits. And just to let everybody know, we are simulcasting. I apologize that I didn't say this. We are simulcasting from Facebook, Twitter, um, YouTube, and also Clubhouse. That's a four-way simulcast. This is the first time it has been done. I'm doing it like this just to get things right from last week. And also, we need to do a funeral service from somebody on Clubhouse, figuratively speaking, of course. So let's do that after this commercial break.
Today's episode is brought to you by Wavilo. Of course, you guys see me with my Bakari watch. Looks nice,
Yep.
don't it? But if I wanted to go out, just a casual wear, and it's kind of chilly outside, not bad. Let's add some more color to it. Ooh, that's gonna look good for the photo shoot. Get with the brand that's versatile, that can cover you in all areas of fashion for men and women. So go to the link that's in this video, fill up your shopping cart. Once you do, the promo code is BTSI for 50% off. I repeat, BTSI for 50% off at checkout.
All right. Before we get into the next one, like I said last week, there is a Clubhouse room that I recommend everybody join. It is Bring the Smoke, curated by King in Chicago. He is a content creator. He has rooms open all day. So whatever you want, it is there for you. So when you guys get the chance, go to Clubhouse, type in Bring the Smoke BTS, click the green house, and follow King Chicago. And also, King does a lot of work. So while y'all in there, make a donation to his cash app. No amount is too small or too big. So go ahead and do that for that brother because he is definitely providing something for the culture. Now that has been taken care of, let's get to today's episode. Who runs the media? Hint, not us. Now, let me tell you the backstory on this topic. I was in a room a few days ago, and it's somewhere on my profile on one of those recorded rooms. The original conversation is actually not why I got kicked out the room. Um, the house is called Too Honest Cabo, TOO Honest Cabo. The creator of the room is E.T. Pennington, and that's his name on the ticker, E.T. Pennington. The title of the room was "These Black Women Want a Builder Man." Now, I was pinged. I was pinged into that room, and I decided to be part of the conversation. Now, while the conversation was transpiring, I made a comment of women will give up a 98% perfect guy for a 66 perfect guy. And the guy added to that point by adding something in regards to Tyler Perry. I didn't make no fuss about it. It didn't much hit me until later. But we got into the conversation about media And the comment was, black women runs media. That's not true. And we got a debate about that. And he first kicked me to the audience because he was getting upset. And then he eventually kicked me out the room. That was kicking me out the room was adding insult to injuries. But I was more pissed off with the information that he was spewing because of the people that was in the room. You're force feeding them false information, and they're gonna go into other rooms, spew the same ideologies, and make us look stupid. So before I go off on him, I want to present something. If you look at the ticker, there's as far as newspapers goes, there's 70 newspapers that still exists today. The oldest one is 1845. There's only 70 that's African American that's still up and running. So that's what 1.4 newspaper publications per state. 1.4 compared to how many does everybody else have? That's ridiculous. Now let's get to television. Currently, there's only 34 stations that are catered to to 34 companies that are catered to black people. Only 34 in all of the United States. So that's not good. We went from 70 newspapers to 34 TV stations. Now keep this in mind. As far as radio goes, there is a handful. There's actually a nice amount in radio stations, but keep in mind, radio is a dying art form. The only successful radio stations we have is well, hell, we have Radio One, and technically iHeart is not a black radio station. They have a successful black radio show, The Breakfast Club, but we're talking about stations. And even that's run by white people as well. So technically, you have really one successful one that's still up and running. And that's a problem. Now, let's get to the music industry. You see Universal Music Group, you see Sony Music Entertainment, you see Warner Music Group. Because the reason why I say all this is people can bring up all these record labels that are run by black people, quote unquote. Let's say you got your Def Jones, you got all this other stuff. They report to these three music trios, and they're all run by white people. So the case of the matter is this: black people are not running media, and that's a problem. They're run by either white guys, Jewish people, or gay guys. Sometimes all three, which is actually a contradiction in a way, but that's neither here or there. The problem is that we're not running our own narrative. If you want to use the narrative that black women runs the media, then that means black women is doing a terrible narrative and representation of the black community. But we're not going to say that. Hell, I'm not going to say that because I know that's not true. They don't run the media. That's white people, Jewish people, or gay people. None of those are, and they're not pertaining to the black people, black agenda. So for this fucking moron at E.T. Pennington to spew that, you're a fool, you're a dumbass, and he's the most hated on Clubhouse. No, you're the less educated of all of us. I'll go as far as to say you might even be a cancer to the black community. So I want someone to snip this, send this to E.T. Pennington, and tell him, don't you ever fix your mouth to ever come one on one against me and think you're gonna win. I use intellect, I use education, I only speak on things I know about. Evidently, that's something you struggle with. We are not the same. Don't ever fuck with me like that again. That's your final warning. Hell, that was your nail in your coffin. But let's swing over to Clubhouse. I got some people on the stage today. BB, man, MB, how you doing, man?
Doing well, I'm doing well. How you doing?
I'm doing good, man. Um, Unfortunately, I did not think this was a narrative, but it's shocking. What's your take on people who are spreading false information that black people control the media or run the media.
They saying that black people control the media, run the media. I mean, we might be the most exposed in the media. And maybe God's all about us, but we don't control what's being done. At the end of the day, I guess if you look at it from this angle, if black people didn't behave in the way they did, then there would be no need for them to be shown in the media. The content wouldn't be interesting. So maybe some truth to that.
And one example I was thinking of, because there are some people who think, and I can't believe in 2022 people still think this. There's some people who think Ronald McDonald is in charge. He runs all of operations of McDonald's, or the Jack in the Box guy. The Jack in the Box guy. They think he runs Jack in the Box. That's a good example of what they think black people do to media. The people who's actually in charge is finding black people to be a spokesperson or the face of the company, but they're not running shit. Why do our people not know this by now?
I don't know why they don't know that, but it's a lot of things it seems like black people are lacking on. I do understand what you're saying. The media is not ran or controlled by black people in the sense that they own anything. However, the content of the media is black based. I think in that sense, black people are the main focus of the media. Let me say that. And there's a reason for that. Because black people keep allowing themselves to be exploited in doing things that are not becoming. And so that's what people want to talk about. I mean, I've done shows where I talked about positive things. You might get a handful of people that really want to be a part of that. But when you start talking about some crazy, nutty stuff that people are doing and dealing with that kind of conversation, the room is packed. So in that sense, I'm going to say black people have a lot of say in the media, because if they didn't do what they did, there would be no content. The most popular shows are about black people acting unseemly, you know. I think we can do something about that.
No, I appreciate that. Thank you, MB. BB, you there? All right, BB might be stepping away from the mic just for a little bit. Hey, Jenny, do you have any contributions you want to throw for the topic, or no?
I don't. I'm in listening right now. I'm here listening to what you're offering us.
Oh, no, it's all good. I appreciate that. Now, here's where I'm at with this now. We need to, I heard this before, matter of fact, throughout last year. There's nothing catered to black men, started by black men and caters to and is narrated by black men, like their own shows. Like you have shows for women that's catered to women. Matter of fact, even with the spaces of women, they managed to curse something out for black women. That's why the narrative managed to grow all these years about what they feel about black men, because black men, excuse me, granted was getting their shit together. They don't have time to sit around and listen to women badmouth them, and think shit is sweet. So one thing I am planning to do or starting to do, I think we need to, and I think me and King spoke about this a couple of times. We need to create our own network that is for black men. and because that way we control what's being said, how it's being said, and we don't have to worry about anybody policing our tone. So, and of course, I'm gonna put this out there for the world to know. I think the best option is for us to. I'll say we need to go the Alex Jones route. We need to get our own website, start putting content up there, daily content, just as if it was a TV network. That way, we'll have something throughout the day, throughout the week, and maybe sometimes, maybe while everybody's asleep, get some replays on. But we need to find a way to do that. I think with what I'm doing right now, I could probably hook this up to my website that I haven't used in a couple of years. That way, all the content will go there, and all the funding could go there. And we have to be careful about the fundings we get because we have to let people know that our mouths are our mouths, our words are our words, and nobody should police it. With that thought process, what you think about that, MB? MB?
I mean,
No, it's all good.
I think that's interesting. I think it's interesting what you're saying. All right, so I'm just gonna play devil's advocate a little bit here, but not because I kind of got a little different understanding. Now you're saying that you started media based on black men showing positive imagery, correct?
I want to say positive. I'm not going to say positive imagery, although we do need more of that. But black men needs to be in control of the narrative versus everybody else. Truth be told, have black women has a in my opinion, black women have a hand on the steering wheel when it comes to the narrative of black men. And dare I say, they have done a half-ass job because they only got one hand on the steering wheel.
Oh, okay. Yeah, black women do paint a negative picture of black men. But I don't know. I'm starting to think like this. Why do we even care? Why we even focus on what the media is saying about us?
Mm-hmm.
I was thinking about the Amish people who've been around just as long as anyone else, and they don't participate in that. I was thinking about, hey man, I got some Italian friends that don't like how the media depicts Italian people because everybody thinks an Italian person is part of the mob, and it's only like 5,000 of them. Like real small. So I do understand the power of the media. However, nobody's allowing the media to dictate their behavior in a negative way. But when I say that, I mean, even though they might show negative imagery, people are not buying into it and behaving in that way because of what's seen on television. Like, as an intelligent person, if somebody depicts black people as drug dealers, that does not mean we should go and sell drugs. Other people might buy into it and say, oh, I guess all of them are drug dealers or something like that. It's like saying, oh, Chinese people know karate. Things like that. I should think that as a kid. But, like, as an adult, like, I know that's just not a true thing. Like, just because somebody is depicted one way in the media, does not mean the entire that people are that way.
Mm-hmm.
I know that just by meeting people living life and everything like that. And it just seems to me, I'm trying to find an answer for black people. I think what you're talking about is an excellent thing. I love the way Bill Cosby did it when he did the Cosby Show, and he did A Different World, and he's showing the black people in a different light. This is real, true life of black people. But I also remember when people thought that it wasn't true. They said there ain't no black family. I literally heard that in my own ears. No black family live like that. A doctor, a lawyer, nobody whooping nobody. This is what they were saying. I say it is true.
Right. They just what it is they lack exposure. And
hold on a second, I'm getting the phone call. I'll be right back.
Sure, go ahead, man. with what MB is saying is true. Like, there's some
Hello?
people. You there? Oh, my bad, my bad. MB, you there? All right, let me go ahead and say this. What MB says is true. Unfortunately, there are some people who say Fresh Prince, that's not true. The Cosby Show, that's not true. And I was mind boggled. I was like, this is very much true. And it all comes down to exposure. I know people who haven't left certain parts of Houston who thinks like this. And sometimes you just gotta isolate yourself from them. Like, I can't associate myself with you because if you think this is not possible, what type of garbage are you spewing to other people in the community? Now you're a cancer to the community, and we can't get down like that. Oh, AB, you back?
What up, baby?
I was like, you back yet? But
Beautiful days.
oh no, you good, man. I think with with what
No, I gotta take this phone call. I'll be back in like 2 minutes.
oh, go ahead, take your time. With
What's up, guys?
Mountain, what's going on, man?
Not much. What's up?
Oh, good, good. We're doing good out here. Uh, we're just talking about media. Uh, there's some people who are misconstrued on who runs the the media outlets, who runs the newspaper, who has the main control of the newspaper sector, who has control into the music industry, who has control of TV. Like on the TV side, Viacom. They have a hand on pretty much everything that we watch on TV today. There you have that. Can you guys okay? You have that, you have Disney, and you have all these other outlets where it's being run by anybody and everybody else, which is cool and all, but when it comes to certain narratives for a certain group people, the narratives are false. But we don't have the power to say anything because we don't have the finances, or the manpower to say anything.
I tell about like against the community, like the black community.
Yes, in this case, the black community. I know if I talk to some Latino people, they have the same gripe. Some Asian
Well,
community. Go ahead.
I'm white, but as a conservative, I mean, I have, social media apps go against me. I got to self-censor myself on YouTube and other apps because I'm a conservative. So I mean, I mean, it's not racially, but it's like politically, you know what I mean? It's censored. So
Right. No, I understand. I get that because even my dad doesn't watch certain things um, because he's more, well, granted, my dad's not from this country, he's from Nigeria. So most of their ideologies are going to be on more on the conservative side. So you talking about that? Of course, he doesn't watch CNN. He doesn't even watch Fox. He doesn't even watch Fox News for that matter as well.
I don't watch Fox News either. They're propaganda trash.
No, I get it. I understand that, and I respect that. But what I was saying is, we need to get to the point as for Black people, we don't run anything. We don't have a main power control of anything that goes on with these entities that control our narrative. One thing I suggest is that as Black people, we need to create our own network. Black men, let me rephrase that. Black men need to create their own networks. That way, they can control their own narrative and actually show what's going on in the Black community through the Black man's eyes. Black men have been shut out. Now, people want to say Black men has been heard. I was like, no, Black man has been filtered through the mouths of either some white men, some Jewish men, and some gay men. Or if you take all that out put all that to the side, there's some Black women who has some control in media, and they have done a piss poor narrative of Black men.
You don't mind if I think my opinion on it? And Thomas Sowell, he's a famous Black economist, 94 years old. He backs this up, with
Tommy who?
With data. Thomas Sowell is a famous Black economist.
Oh yeah, Thomas Sowell.
Intellectual. Have you ever heard of him?
I heard the name before. I have not gotten into them, not yet.
Yes. Let me send you a video sometime. It's really great. But like for instance, man, like some things are happening to all of our races that are really bad, man. I mean, it's government intervention. It's a welfare state, and it's happening. For instance, like in the '60s, man, like 90% of black families were married. You know what I mean? The kids were born into two parent households. Same thing with white communities. And it's just what happened, man, is our families are breaking apart, and that actually correlates with all sorts of things, because there's not education because the parents not teaching their kid. It happened in the white community and black. And what's scary is that it's actually the white community is doing. It's the all signs point that we're going to be doing just worse than the black community because we're going down that hill faster. But you'll have to watch these videos where he talks about, for instance, like the black married couples are actually more successful than white married couples. Their poverty rate is only 7%. If you look that up, it's quite. And then like as far as intellectually, intelligence, like that's been disproven so many times scientifically because there's black kids born in Harlem with IQ rates of 114 and stuff, just like the highest rate. And so that's why eugenics, which was which was democratically and liberal, that was a liberal agenda, by the way. You can look it up. And they were trying to eliminate people based on their intelligence because they thought there was a ceiling. And the biggest proponent, the one who was pushing it the most of eugenics, saying that black people and people from Eastern Europe were unintelligent, so they needed to be actually euthanized at a certain point, possibly. And they were euthanizing kids and people. They were sometimes. Indian reservations up here in Montana too, bro. I mean, that's why they're locked in a reservation and they get a free house and which turns into shit, and they get a little bit of health care, which is decent, but it's this hook, and then they get a little bit of money, and then they're just perpetually stuck on this reservation. There's high unemployment, high crime, poverty, and what it is, it's the correlate, it's welfare state. And so if you look at, and I'll make it fast, sorry, why am I playing? The Jewish community, there's a lot of communities that didn't have any government intervention, came over here and lifting themselves up. Now, of course, black community, they didn't have, and they were slaves, but still, they were actually successful. They were on their way up to success up into about the 60s when the welfare state, the Democrats and the Republicans on both sides have taken advantage of anybody they can, and they only want you guys as votes, bro. And so like
Right.
you cannot. Because we have a free market capitalist system, you cannot segregate yourselves because that's actually bad for business. For instance, if a bus only can have white or black people, then you're going to have to wait there. You can't fill it all the way up with people because it's just capitalism and racism do not go together at all. It's so like you guys, just something that needs to happen where you need to break off from these black intellectuals that seem to be the biggest voices of your group, and listen to people like Thomas Sowell and look at people who have really succeeded and stuff, and I'm not saying just pick up your socks and go, but I'm just, what I'm saying, I'll show you some videos and you'll be really surprised, man, that it's just the correlation of our goddamn Democrats and Republicans, our government trying to really fuck us so we can really be reliant on them. And that's what they want. They're doing this to all of us right now with these stimulus checks and shit and all this. They want us to do. They really want to fuck us, man. They want us to be reliant on these assholes. Anybody they can take advantage of.
And now, real quick, but no, I appreciate your words. And real quick with that, there's one thing I did say is we need to divest from the government. And people say, how are we going to divest from the government? As black people, how are we going to divest? And this is quote unquote not our country. Well, we built it for free. So trust me when I say is we can divest from the government and still support our own. And I do appreciate what you said. Now, with what I'm getting at is black people do not run the media like somebody thought. Matter of fact, let me put his name back on her so everybody know which idiot thought black women run all of media, which is not true. Uh, Black men, what we need to do is start our own media company. We're gonna have to start small and work our way up. Right now, I'm simulcast from YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and Clubhouse. This same technology that I'm using to get my voice heard, we can do. We're gonna have to start small. We're gonna have to start from the our own website, and then we're gonna have to move from there. Now, people wanted to say about other races or peoples, also say that there's narratives out there. There's bad narratives that's being painted of them. I get it. I understand that. My heart goes out. We sympathize with each other. But right now, my main focus is to talk to black men and black people in general, of course, but particularly black men. Let's have a media
No problem.
company. Let's have a media company that is cater to us. That way, if somebody else tried to paint a narrative, we could debunk that easily. Now because we've been doing that for the past year. How long has it been? Yeah, we've been doing that for over. When did the stupid COVID hit? 2020, right? Yeah, COVID hit 2020. So yeah, ever since the pandemic, we've been combating all these false narratives because the stats are out that these narratives against black people, particularly black men, are lies. Now, granted, there are some black men, me being one of them, never really pay attention to these narratives because we know it's false. Matter of fact, you couldn't come to me with that in person because you get humiliated. But now I notice that there's a abundance of people who don't have that same access like I did. And now is that you that sent me something on IG?
Yes, buddy. I can't send you a message on this, so that's my
That's weird.
Instagram.
That's weird. I don't know why Clubhouse have it like that. Go ahead and follow me, and that way you can send it to me. Send me stuff through Clubhouse. But damn, I lost my train of thought. Black men need to focus on their own narratives now because I thought black men knew this. I didn't find out till sometime 2020 they didn't. So now I need to find a way to have a safe space for black men to go and they can talk their talk. And if somebody wants to debunk or refute them, we have something for them. That way, no one can be in control of our narratives any longer. I know people are comfortable with certain people controlling the narratives. I think we need to stop that. That's where I'm at with it. So, real quick, before one last thing before we go to the final commercial break, to the clubhouse. His name is right. You're wrong. E.T. Pennington. That's at E.T. Pennington. I'm going to say this. I'm going to say this again. You're not the most hated on this app. You're the less educated of all of us. What you did in that room shows that number one, you're not in control of your emotions. Number two, and you're not in control of your passion, which you show very little that day. And number three, you're a terrible leader to this community. Matter of fact, I'll go as far as to say you're a cancer to the black community. I'm gonna say this one last time. You're not on my level. You never have been, and at this rate, you never will be. Don't ever come at me like that again. That is your final warning. So, with that being stated, let's go to the last commercial break, and we need to do an update from last week.
Today's episode is brought to you by Aubrey Noel, home of the sophisticated lashes. Even during the pandemic, yes, eyelashes is still a necessity. You might not be able to go full on makeup because you got to wear masks everywhere you go. So focus on the areas you can focus on, i.e. your eyes. And that's where Aubrey Noel comes into play. Today, I want to introduce you to Pixie. Ain't she a beaut? She'll even look better on you guys. When you guys get your chance, go to AubreyNoel.com. You get a better look at Pixie and sort through all the eyelashes. You got Monroe, you got Zola, you got other eyelashes that I can guarantee that you guys are going to fall in love with. Go ahead and fill up your shopping carts and look good during this pandemic. You can still be the best you even wearing a mask. So go to AubreyNoel.com. Again, AubreyNoel.com. Also, you can follow her on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. That's AubreyNoelle. Aubrey Noel.
There's been various scammers that be trying to send me messages, but uh, they are a pain in my ass. But here we are back, y'all. So one last thing before we go. Update with the Dylan Gonzalez versus Trey Songz. She released a statement. Let's read this together. With what seems like endless recurring news of the alleged sexual assault committed by Trey Songz, I am forced to repeatedly relive in my mind and suffer anew the long suppressed horror and unbearable PTSD of my rape by his very hands at a well-known Las Vegas hotel. I want to send my love, strength, hope to all who are victims of sexual assault and its fatal nature. You are not alone. I stand with you and encourage all of those who have suffered abuse to speak out, to come forward. Suppression of our voices only embodies our oppressors, and you cannot heal what you do not reveal. At this time, I humbly request my privacy, consideration, and compassion while I fully commit to pursue the best course of action and all of my legal options. Gracias, Vigenta de Gazas. Please direct all questions and inquiries to my attorney, George, I'm not pronouncing his last name, on Instagram or Twitter or throughout the links in his bio. Now, here's my thing. What did I say last week? In regards to this allegation, we are not going to dispute or refute any of her claims because we don't have evidence to do so. By the time when she made a statement before New Year's came, she didn't have no evidence either. And my statement was she needs to be held accountable legally if she don't have no evidence because that's a form of defamation of character. Now she came out with a statement with as probably from her PR team. Now she's saying they're gonna press some type of they're gonna go after Trey Songz's legal team, legally pursue him. My take on it is this: you couldn't have done this sooner, or better yet, not say anything and let your attorneys deal with it. So I stand by what I said last week. How she handled this whole situation is the worst way to go about it. Now, if Trey Songz did something, if that's true, he needs to be held accountable easily. No one's going to refute that. Trey Songz needs to go to jail first. There needs to be criminal charges against him first, and then there needs to be civil charges in that order. That way, justice is being served, and justice will be served, and everything will go the way it's supposed to go. Like I said, the way Dylan went about this initially was kind of troublesome, and it's going to be a harder battle for him to. It's going to be a harder battle for her to win in court, and I hope she do win. I really do, because based off of this guy's stories, it's more than likely he did this, but legally he's not a rapist, unfortunately. So with Dylan Gonzalez, I'm glad she's finally get her legal team involved. I wish she did this first, but this is gonna help her win her case, and I really do hope she wins her case. I legit do. All right, people. That's going to be it for today's broadcast. I want to thank everybody for tuning in on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and on Clubhouse. The people on stage, I want to thank you guys so much. We are going to go ahead and end this because it's outside, cold, and it's crazy. But MB, do you have any final words on this? Because we're about to shut down.
I'm back. I just got back. You said final words.
Nah, you got back in time, man. But now we're talking about. Now we could continue the conversation about the what's the word? The what you're saying in regards to the building our own network.
Oh,
Yeah, what
I
I'm.
think, yeah,
Go ahead.
I was like, go ahead. I would say we portraying ourselves in a light. See, there used to be a time when black people were not allowed to be part of media. They weren't allowed to be on the big screen, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so they fought to get on, or we fought to get on. And we become so complacent in playing negative stereotypes and characters. We actually train for those particular parts. So it's like I said, when Bill Cosby came and said, you know what, I'm going to portray black people in a more positive light, it was just like a breath of fresh air for me. Robert Townsend
Yep.
did his thing too, Hollywood Shuffle.
Yep. Parenthood. I remember that.
Huh?
That's a Robert Townsend when he did Parenthood. I remember that. That was black people in a positive light.
Right. And so these guys, so we know by that positive imagery of black people is allowed, let's say that, in mainstream media. But how much of it is actually presented? That's the question.
Currently, damn near none. On the positive side, absolutely, almost none. If you see a black people, if you see a black person on TV right now, there's always something. They got to be linked to something, and it's not always in the most positive of lights, which like they
Hello?
have to be, yeah, like they have to be, they have to be criminals. They have to be part of the LGBTQIA. Not to say, and with those who are in the LGBTQIA, that's well in your rights to be one. But with black men, it can't just be a black man. He has to be tied to something. He has to have some type of shackle, some type of milestone attached to him when they put on TV. So yeah, there is no full-fledged positive viewing of black people on TV. I guess you want to say Blackish, like man, MB. Have you ever watched Blackish? Oh, he does got a phone call, but yeah,
No, I never watched Blackish.
like they had. I'll admit Blackish has they had a moments, and I really never got into it, which was my fault, I guess. But um, maybe Blackish is probably the only thing. I'm not gonna go as far as say Grownish, the spinoff show. It's just there's always something got to be with black people, which gets on my nerves.
Right. Listen, I agree with you. My thing is, I don't even watch those shows, like the buffoonery shows. I just like, whatever, man. That Love and Hip Hop stuff.
Absolutely not.
Listen, those people are not acting. Those people are being who they really are. And it's just being recorded, right? For the most part. I know some scenes are set up and everything and exaggerated. I get it.
Ran by a black
they're being
woman.
who they are for the most part. And it's like that's, I don't know. I guess they just exaggerate the negative quality. That's all they really do. Because there's some positive quality. I'm gonna tell you a show that I can see positives in. You ever seen The Upshores?
No, what is it about?
The Upshores with Mike Epps on Netflix.
Well, I can check it. I can check it out when I get home.
He's acting like a buffoon in the show, right? Like he ain't really got, he ain't really, like he be messing up a lot. He got the baby mama. He married. He got the baby mama. Just different things are going on in their lives. The sister is cheating with some pilot dude. There's a lot of things going on. But when you look under the surface of it, you see that he actually owns his own business. He's a business owner. The sister owns a tenement building. It's things like that. It's like these people are productive in society, but they're destructive to themselves. If that makes sense. That's what I'm seeing with a lot of black people. A lot of like black women too. Like that. So the media is showing, they actually are showing the positive, but they really concentrate and putting the light on the negative aspect of it. Love and hip hop, for example, all those people are entrepreneurs. Those people, for the most part, are entrepreneurs, producers and rappers and models and things of that nature and everything, just creative people.
Right.
But the emphasis is on the buffoonery. The emphasis is on their negative behaviors. And I say things that people don't like, but I say, it's like, I'm going to say it now. It's like sometimes like the black people acting like monkeys. Like you can teach them to fly a spaceship, but you can't stop them from shitting on themselves. It's like that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm watching this happen. I said, these people are creative people. They're talented people. But they're allowing themselves to be shown in that buffoonery light. I think that's what's going on. Because if you look at all these shows, the underlying thing, these people are career-minded people. They just destructive to themselves in these relationships and these behaviors, and the media is exploiting that part of it, which is unfortunate, but it's the truth.
And like I said,
The fact that they on the show shows that they're career-minded people. They're actors.
Yeah.
They're actors, they're entertainers.
And then and people, when people bring that up as an example, it's like that's one aspect of black media being ran by black women, and look how we're portrayed.
Right. Yeah, because the chick Mona Scott is the one that's doing these love and hip hop shows.
Yep. And I remember one time they tried. Oh, and real quick, black people, we have the power to stop all of that shit. Matter of fact, here's two things that happened. Number one, I brought up when they try to bring love and hip hop to Houston. When they show what Houston really is, they packed up their shit and left. They said, no, we can't do that. That's number one. But the most important thing is they did a sorority show, like a reality show by Mona Scott, and they try to paint them in that negative light. All fraternities and sororities of America, shut that shit down. So we have the power, and this is why I told that boy on E.T. Penn said, black women are tastemakers. They determine what the cool is, and they have the controlling, and they could control their brand ambassadors, influencers. So they can tell people, hey, this is cool. We should get behind this. They're tastemakers, and that's why I told that dumbass E.T. Pennington. They're tastemakers at best. Now, with that show, they was able to have the power to cancel that show, and like legit cancel it. Because when I saw the clip, I was like, I'm disgusted. Because somebody who knows been around people who've been fraternities and sororities, the black kinds, I was like, you're not gonna paint them like that. That's disrespectful. But I'm so glad they got rid of that show.
Right. Somebody wanted to do a show on the guy Boosie, Lil Boosie, or whatever you call something now, Boosie Badass or something like that.
They want to do a show on them?
And they want to do that. They want to do a show on his life, but they went after the network, and the network decided not to do it.
Yeah, because Boosie is, with Boosie, what you see is what you get. And I can tell you from that, seeing him a couple of times in person, what you see is what you get with Boosie. So
yeah, they said because he had the 10 kids and all that.
Yeah,
but he take care of his kids, as far as I know.
No, he take care of his kids. No, he take care of his kids. That's one thing I would say is I seen him in interaction at the mall when he's with his entourage. But I have every reason to believe that he takes care of his own. That's just it. Don't it definitely doesn't come off to me him being a terrible dad. I don't get that. But we got a couple of people in the building. Jr., what's good, man?
What's good, brother?
Nothing much. Quick backstory. All right, man. We had I was in a room a couple of days ago, and we came to the topic about who runs the media. The dumbass I was talking to said black women ran media. That is not true. And with the handful of black women that run media, you see the narrative they have on black men.
That don't even. Shit, you can stop right there.
That's all I'm saying. I was like, I know I didn't hear him say what I thought I heard him say.
Yeah, that's. When we start creating our own networks like NBC, CES,
Mm-hmm.
Superstation, and we start creating our own little TV drama episodes. They're not hooked on to somebody else with a contract. We can start posting our own news.
Mm-hmm.
We can start reporting what the government does and what goes on in everyday life in the community in the different states we live in. Then I'll believe that. Outside of that, people are quite confused, and I think they think that living in that delusionary world is not a delusion at all. They actually think that this is reality, and they have no clue. But yeah, I feel you, brother. That's nice. Oh my God.
Right. I'm like, you as a black man said that out loud, got mad, moved to the audience, kicked me out of the room. So to leave, now you left a whole room of black people with that dumbass information, and now they're gonna go to other rooms with that same ideology, get laughed at out in the room, and I was trying to save them, give them some information.
Nah, brother. Nah, you know what? I want to have you and King and a couple of other mods, Sophia too, and we do our own room just to confer with one another. There's some things that need to be brought forth. And I can clearly see that you have much to bring to the table from your perspective, and as well as I and King too. So, but a lot of this stuff is nonsense, man. I sit here and listen all day. All I can do is just not even shake my head because I'm understanding it's not even a race thing. It has nothing to do with any of that. It's just a matter of our awareness. There are many things that we don't know. The brother came in there yesterday. I believe he was on talking about history. He thinks it stops at 1776 or something. No, it doesn't. But we want to do this whole y'all need to listen to me shit. But no, that's not what it is. We're ignorant. We're too ignorant to actually even comprehend where we are.
Mm-hmm.
We think we've been living in different parts of the galaxy somewhere, and we don't all walk on the same ground. Like, we don't all breathe the same air. Like, we don't all see the same sun. Like, this is retarded.
Right.
But anyway, I don't want to hog up the stage, brother. I just saw you on,
No, it's all good. You're more than welcome into my space. This is my room, B.TS I show. So to all the new speakers, newcomers, please follow the greenhouse at the top. Follow me and any of the moderators, the speakers you resonate. Also in the link, that's a link to my YouTube page. Go ahead and subscribe to my channel. But we got Postman on stage. How you doing, brother?
What's going on, bro?
What's going on, man? I'm just living. I know you guys can't see me, but we are we're live streaming from YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook. Right now, it's dark in my background because I'm actually at the park. My family is still affected by COVID, unfortunately, but it's all good. I'm at to make sure they was taken care of, and I wanted to make sure I keep my word and do the show today. But One thing I was, JR, before you got in the room, and Ayana, I see you down there. You can come on stage. It's all good. I would like to hear your perspectives on this as well. One thing I was telling MB and Jennifer was like, we need to create, and I'm glad you said what you said, JR. We need to create something for us that is created for us, that is ran by us, because that way nobody could come into our space and misrepresent us or the narrative of us. So one thing I suggested is this. I'm like I said, I'm streaming right now through YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. There is an option for me to probably customize it to where I can stream this from my own personal website, which I left closed for a couple of years now. If we can start there, if we have groups of men who could do their own website and start from there, that way they can control the narrative. So that way, do, once we show resume and a track record, that way sponsors will come to you. Like for example, for me, I'm a brand ambassador for FNX. I'm a brand ambassador for Wavito. I am a influencer for Brytn Smile. They came to me. I never went searching for them. And to those three entities, I appreciate you guys from coming to me. We're going to continue to do business moving forward. They came to me because I play some type of track record of who I am, so they know what to expect from me. So what we need to do is do the work and let the money come to us. Of course, we can ask for donations and that type of stuff. That's fine, but we can let people come to us. That way, we dictate the terms of the agreement since they're coming to us, and vice versa. What's your guys' take on that?
That makes absolute sense. We're not to be begging. And that's another thing that I think people have misunderstood. They think that you have to go out there and prostitute yourself, instead of understanding that the innate value within us. And we don't speak about that, Brother Christopher. We never speak to the core of the matter. We're always speaking around about things, if that makes any sense. But yeah, what you're saying, I'm definitely in line with. I am an entrepreneur myself, and I do not beg anyone for it. They come to me.
Right.
So that gives me the power and the option to say no, or you're going to have to wait, you see. Because what you have done, as you're saying, you have set a standard, and you have been consistent, and people love that consistency.
Mm-hmm.
And they have to respect it. So I respect it. And those are my thoughts at the moment.
I appreciate that.
Right? Now, here's what I'm going to say. I like positive content on Black people and everything, but I do like a mixture of positive content, and then there's another group of people that are just interesting when it comes down to it. I think we grouping, here's the thing. I think we group all Black people into one category because of skin color. Mm-hmm. And we say, this is us. But nobody else is doing that. No other group, like all white people, do not see each other the same. You got Italian, Irish, Scottish, Jews, whatever. They don't see each other as the same. We always group each other the same. We try to bring together a whole continent with extended countries all under the same skin complexion and say we're the same. And nobody else is doing it. Everybody has their own little pockets. They got towns, they got little counties, maybe. They got maybe countries. But they don't have continents that they're trying to say we're all the same. And like I said earlier, the mob, people see Italian people would think that they're with the mob. And that's like, a few thousand people that are part of that situation. And it's like, I think sometimes Black people be trying to do too much. Instead of separating themselves by character or by understanding, could be language, could be religion, whatever the case, and then say, this is who we are as people. This is our moral code of conduct and how we carry ourselves, as opposed to I'm representing all black, or all black represent me. I think we need to start making that distinction on the type of people that we are.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Black people, MB, you there because you're just cutting out. MB,
At the end of the day, what?
I think it was in the Matrix, or did you land your plane?
A major what?
No, I think it was in the Matrix, or did you land your plane?
Oh no, I think I'm finished on that matter. Yeah.
All right. Black people, yeah. To that last point, black people, especially black men, we're not all monoliths. We all like different things. Now the problem is, there's other people who, like to your point, grouping us all in one group together, and now they're painting a broad picture on how all black men moves. Like I said earlier, black people do not run media. It's either white folks, Jewish folks, or gay folks, and you might find somebody that is combined with all three. They are controlling the media. They're the powerhouses of the media. News, as far as newspaper goes, we only got 70 black publications. As far as television stations, we only got 34. Yes, we got a lot of black radio stations, but there's only one that's really successful, and that's Radio One. I can't say iHeartRadio because that's not a black radio station. They cater to black people, but that's not a black radio station. And as far as the music industry goes, you have all these record labels. Let's assume all the record labels were owned by black people. The owner of Universal Music Group is not black. He's white. Both of them. I checked. Sony Music Entertainment, I checked. White. Warner Music Group, white men. The rap game is being ran by white people. Yes, let me look in the camera so that idiot understands, and those in the black. The rap game is ran by white men. The face of the rap game are rappers, black rappers, but it's ran by white men. That's why most of them are broke. I have to get that out because it's 2022. We cannot be this stupid. It should be illegal and forbidden for black people, particularly black men, to be this retarded.
Yeah, I agree with you, man. I agree with you.
Oh my God.
100%. These young men, they keep saying, they made me put that out. Listen, man, you got the option not to be a part of. But let me tell you something. If we wasn't so money hungry, if we weren't so greedy for fame, that's pretty much what they get. Just to be seen. If it wasn't for that, they wouldn't be able to use us. That's it right there. You saying it, man. Yeah. We love attention. We love it. We love the whole idea of somebody about fame. We don't understand what it is. You cannot eat it. You can't go up and eat it. Stop like that. Yep. Because people, I know people that do well in life and they take care of their family. They have a different purpose, a different motive. When you see people that are dying to be seen, and dying for people to know their name, building reputations for themselves and stuff, you know those people are controllable. Mm-hmm. It's like a woman looking for, when they say, I'm looking for a man with a lot of money. You know they're controllable. You know if you're that man, you know this woman could be controlled. And it's like they have no integrity. When people put stuff out there, they think it sounds cute, but it sounds horrible. When you got the rappers rapping about drugs and all, and see, it's just a long list of stupidity. When people keep saying ignorant stuff like they put the drugs in the community, I'm telling you, just because they put the books in the community too, you ain't pick none of those up.
Talk about it.
The thing, you know what I'm saying? People doing what they want to do and blaming others for their choices when it backfires on them, when it doesn't go their way. That's the only thing that's happened. The media cannot portray you or put nothing out negative about you if you don't do anything negative for them to film. Like, they can't portray me as a drug dealer because I don't sell drugs. So if you're trying to convince people that I'm a drug dealer or not, you have a very hard time doing that. A very, very hard time. This is what I'm saying. Like, they only control what's being done, what's actually being done, and then they magnify it. And people got to stop. These stupid ass rappers, the young boys, even the older ones when that. I mean, rap started off fun, man. We had Rappers Delight and all that. We had, Run DMC, and then it started to change, started to switch. NWA came out with their gangster rap, and it took place. Then this whole drug game thing, and people getting high and sipping on syrup and all this stuff. But that culture, that group of people, they love that type of attention. They're going to keep doing those things as long as people keep paying attention to them. They're going to keep doing it. And it's going to keep being a representation of all black people when the white media makes it that way. And said, this is who they are. And when you're like, I don't even do that. I don't even smoke cigarettes. I don't even go outside. I'm not even outside when the sun goes down. I'm in the house with the kids, going to sleep, get ready for the next day. That type of thing. But they don't never see that. It's because it's boring. It's purposeful. It's purposeful and it's edifying, but it's boring to the people of the flesh. It's boring to them. So nobody wants to see that.
And I was thinking about today. There was a long time ago. There's a rapper in Houston named J Dog. He did an interview, and they was talking about when he grew up on the north side. Like, you didn't hear about people becoming doctors or lawyers. You either be rappers or some type of athlete because they kind of look down on the doctors and lawyers. And it's like, how foolish and far removed can we be from intelligence? We need to get back. We need to get black. We need to eradicate some of these so-called leaders who are doing a terrible job. Matter of fact, I know when we have these rooms, there's some ladies that come in the room and they always talk about what was told to them by other men. I'm gonna start asking them, tell us about this man that gave you that information. And let's compare that man to your father or to whatever male leader you have in a household. Is he meet the same standards? Does he exceed that standards, or is he lower that standards? And I can't wait to hear what the fuck they gotta say, so I can shut all that dumb shit down.
Right.
It's like,
by living the life and being in the black community, you can see that what's being portrayed is not true. If you go on any given block, you might have 2 crack houses, maybe 1, and the rest, people going to work, even in the projects. The majority of people in the projects actually have jobs. And they're going to work and stuff like that. Then you have this group of 5 to 12 guys that are selling drugs in the project. But the whole project is not on that. And this is where people get it twisted at. That's a minority that's doing that. They just getting the most shine from the media and everything because they're trying to portray black people as that. But it is not true. It's not true. There's more people that graduate than that don't graduate. You got teachers, obviously, in the black community, black teachers in the school that got jobs. You got crossing guards. You got business owners. They may not own a business in the hood, but they own business.
Right.
You got entrepreneurs and stuff. You got people all over, man. They punching the clock. They going to school. They're not doing the criminal activities, the foul behaviors. But one thing I can say, though, black people are doing. They are doing this on a massive scale. They're on themselves. They're destroying their own lives. It's like self-sabotage. I can't tell you how many couples I see break up because of something minor beginning, and then they just magnify it and make it just this big deal, and the kids suffer from it. And nobody's saying anything. They think it's okay. The women that sleep with the different low-class men, the men that sleep with the low-class women, I think they're coping themselves. And me personally, I separate myself from that. I say, I don't know those people. I ain't part of that.
Yep. That's one thing that's one thing I say. Let's get back to isolation and shaming tactics. Like, I'm not about to go in your face and crucify for your decisions. Here's my idea of a shame tactic. Me and my son walking down the street, we see some negative shit on the other side. I'm gonna tell my son, look, you see how that person is moving? We don't rock like that. That person needs to be left alone. You see someone like that, just go the other way, ignore them. Don't talk to them, don't associate yourself with them. Because we need to let our kids know. Because that's why sometimes I say, is it too late for us to get it right? And if it is, could we focus on the children so they don't fall in the same mistakes that we did?
Yeah, the thing is, who's us? That's what I'm saying. We got to stop claiming these degenerate folk. We got to stop claiming them.
Mm-hmm.
Straight up. They're not part of me. I'm not part of them. I'm quick to tell. Let me tell you something. And this may sound, a lot of people don't like this, right? But I say if a person smokes weed every day, right? Morning, noon, and night, I call them drug addicts, right?
Mm-hmm.
Just like if a person drink alcohol morning, noon, and night, I'm calling them
Alcoholic, right.
And so I'm not doing activities, business, socializing with drug addicts. So people that smoke weed, when they be talking to me, even on these apps, that they talk, oh yeah, man, I smoke weed every day. I got this kind, that kind. I'm going to this. Listen, that's a drug addict. In my mind, I would never do business with you because I don't know your integrity level. It fluctuates, right? Because the drug is more powerful than anything else for you. Because you're going to do the drug. And then if you're not in a financially free position, but you're throwing money away on a drug that alters your mindset, I'm considering you a drug addict. Now, people don't like that. They think it's hard because nowadays they say weed is legal. They couldn't say that a year ago, but now they can say it, right?
Yeah.
But now,
I let people go ahead and smoke the weed because we all know somebody's going to abuse it. And that's when I slide right in and clean up the mess. Like, if you're at work and it's you and another person, that person is a weed head. They came to work high. I'm going to slide in and do my work. I'm going to slide in and do this other person work because if one person fucks up, everybody fucks up. So that's how it goes. And now the sober guy is going to get all the credit, and the weed head might be looking for another job.
Right. See, that's what I'm saying. So you cleaning up their mess, which is cool when it's admirable and everything. I'm sweeping them under the rug. Get out of here. Like that, out the back door. That's how I'm doing. Because I've been dealing with people too long, and I've dealt with people who I say are drug addicts because of their weed habits. And I did business with them for a number of years, and it always ended up I'm doing all the extra work because I'm the only one that's working at 1 in the morning, 2 in the morning, going on paperwork. I'm the only one on the weekend trying to get things prepared for Monday to continue on like that. While everybody else is partying and doing their thing, it's just they don't spend enough time focused on the task at hand when you have those other inputs, like those extracurricular activities. So I have a standard. Even for myself and for others, I have a standard. I'm saying, listen, if you don't meet your standard, we're not going to be associated to that degree. And I'm not claiming you.
Right.
I don't care. I don't care what anybody says.
Yeah, I feel you on that. Appreciate it from the words. JR, any final words, man?
No, brother. I am definitely appreciating your space. The next time you do this, definitely ping me in or either hit me in the back channel. That way I can be more, I can participate a little bit more in the course of what you're speaking on.
Nah, it's all good. I'm gonna definitely do that. Before we got started, I was gonna get set up, but unfortunately, my wife, like I said, with coping, got a little under the weather, and I just had to go step in real quick, take care of that, and run here. And I didn't start pinging people until we started the actual main topic of the conversation. So that was my bad. But next week though, we are gonna have. I'm gonna hold another room about holding men accountable. We're gonna talk about the men that like to pander to women.
Oh man, those guys.
So what we're gonna do is we're gonna do an open forum on Tuesday, and then on Wednesday we're gonna do a simulcast like we're doing right now. So Tuesday, I'm gonna let everybody speak, let everybody get all the stuff because I may not talk as much on Tuesday. I'll just host a room. But Wednesday, people going to hear what I actually feel about men that pander to women.
Yeah.
Yeah, today,
Suckers.
yes, all of them. Today, I just wanted to do Clubhouse funeral service for E.T. Pennington to let him know that he needs to know his place and never come at my way like that again.
Who is E.T. Pennington?
Some fuck boy that thinks that black women run media and got mad when I challenged him on that.
Well, why would he say something like that? That don't even make sense.
It,
What, is there a black woman he had in mind when he's saying that?
I didn't hear it. The only person he brought up was Tyler Perry owns half of BET. And I said, okay,
He's not a black woman.
he's not a black woman, but not. I was like, dumbass, who owns the other half of BET? And I wanted to say that, but he went on a tangent. The other person that owns half of BT is Viacom. That's a white
Right.
company that owns MTV, VH1, and all this other stuff.
Right.
And he's a
So what's he talking about?
Huh?
So what is he talking about? Like I'm saying, did he have any kind of point? Or he just talking?
I guess he was just talking. I was like, dude, can you bring up Oprah at least?
That's what I'm thinking in my head. Like, you bring Oprah and try to work from there.
Yeah. Like, let's start for Oprah, who's probably one of the greatest women on earth. She does not control all of media.
Right.
It's we sometimes I want to help our people, but sometimes I be like, we're doomed.
Yeah, we're not doomed, man. You good, I'm good, and others like us are good. It's some people that share the same complexion that are doomed. Those people are doomed. They're gonna be the underclass for the rest of their lives. Listen, let me tell you something. Black people on the whole are not underclass, man. I could pull out remnants all over the place that are not in part of the underclass position. That is just not there. We even got that society, the Jack and Jill Society. That's a bunch of black people that are definitely not part of the underclass or of the legitimate social class. So yeah, it's not true. Yeah, but yeah, a lot of black people are just going to be done. They're going to be on the outskirts of civilization because they don't know how to act. Let me just say this before we go too. One thing is going to plague the black community. I'm predicting it here. I'm not a prophet, but I can predict stuff based on my understanding. All these people claiming the mental illnesses, you're going to be behind a wall somewhere. You better cut it out. You better stop accepting these labels. Start getting your mind right.
Right.
I'm telling you, you're going to be excluded from a whole lot of things. It's already, you can't go in the military with some of these disorders that people are claiming. And you're making yourself more and more dangerous to yourself and to others. The police people based on the danger that they may be to themselves and to others. So when you say that you have a case of depression and you don't know when it's coming on or when it's going to happen or you can't control it, that means you are a potential danger to yourself or others.
Right.
You can't drive no buses or nothing like that because you might go in depression state and then we got 30 bodies on the bridge. This is how you're going to be looked at. Stop claiming all these PTSD, stop claiming these anxieties and depression, disorders and stuff like that. Stop claiming those things and get right. I'm telling you, or you're going to wind up behind the wall. I'm telling you.
That's real.
That's what I say.
Matter of fact, there's this one girl that I went to school with. Hey, Brenda. She talked about how she told her job about her mental. Not I'm not. Let me not call it mental illness because that's not fair. I don't know if it was bipolar. Yeah, I think it was bipolar or something to that extent. Of course, she notified her job, but all that did was created paperwork for them to fire her.
Right.
So when she told me that, number one, I was pissed off, and I wanted to. That's probably the closest thing I wanted to protest. But she said it was all good. Don't even sweat it. But if you're dealing with some type of mental health issue or something like that, take care of that in private.
Yeah.
Like you broadcast, yeah, broadcasting that is. I know that was a trend at first, but it's like, come
Mm-hmm.
on, we're saying get help because we don't want you to actually go and jeopardize your future, whether it
Mm-hmm.
be in a personal or on a professional level. Go get that
Mm-hmm.
taken care of and be quiet about it.
Yep.
Now that's a whole
That's it.
fact.
You're right. Let me tell you something, man. People, they keep getting upset. Listen, if you get fired for exposing your mental disorder, let's say that, it's on you. Because you're basically telling people, listen, I can't control myself. I don't know when I'm going to misbehave. I don't know how long the misbehavior is going to take place. That's what you're telling people. If I have a machine shop, I can't hire anybody to tell me they're not in control of themselves. At any given point in time, it may happen. I can't hire you.
Right,
I
because
can't
because
make
you're
that move.
putting your coworkers in jeopardy. You're putting the public in jeopardy
Right.
by saying you can't control yourself. It's like, all right,
Yeah.
our thoughts and prayers are with you, but no, I can't hire you. I got to think about other
Right.
people.
Exactly. And that's what I'm trying to tell people. One guy was talking about how he's a leader in his community. I said, how you a leader? And you say you got depression, anxiety, and PTSD. How you?
Ooh.
Who you leading? What's your followers must be the lollipop gang. Like how? This is crazy. I said, man, I can't do it, man. I be telling black people, stop letting these people give you these titles and these categories, man. You gotta shake that off, man. Because most of this stuff is really about perception, man. When you start seeing things differently, instead of like somebody asked me the other day about my past, and we was talking about the past, and I'm like, I really don't look at the past when I try to compare it to what the future could be. I don't really don't do that. I don't think my behavior or attitude is caused by something in the past. I think I'm a rational, logical man, and I make my decisions at those moments based on the information that I have, and I know right from wrong. So I'm not doing something wrong and then saying, well, because when I was younger, I ain't got nothing to do with it. This is what I want to do. And then you have to have that fortitude to say, yo, I'm going to be this way onto death, like that. So I believe in the Bible. So biblically, if you resist sin onto death, meaning I'm not going against God even if I got to die. That's the bottom line.
Mm-hmm.
So you can do it any way you like. I'm not going against myself. I'm not going against my promise. I'm not, whatever. Like that. If you stand like that, hey, you won't be doing all this nonsense.
That's real.
Yeah, people might want to talk about when I was 10, this happened when I was 12. Listen, man.
We here right
35
now.
now.
Like,
You know what I'm saying?
we here right now. What you got on right now?
Right.
We got.
I see men leading families, men leading children when I talk about, well, I never had a father, I didn't know. You know right from wrong. I don't care if you ain't had no man around ever. You still know right from wrong.
And on top of
You
that,
know.
I'm saying on top of that, you say you grew up without a father, but you decided to bring a child into this world and become a father. Are you sure you qualified to do that job? See, we're gonna save all that for next week because I swear I'll go off. I'm big on holding us accountable. I hold everybody accountable, including us. I did one room about holding us accountable. That almost gave me a condition because we had a guy in there who was a little bit emotional. I personally don't like men who can't control their emotion or passion. But we're going to do it again next week. We're going to talk about the pandering man. We'll talk about everything else. But for those watching, thank you guys real quick. Like this video, subscribe to my YouTube page, follow me on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, TikTok, and on Clubhouse. You're more than welcome to make a donation to my Cash App, the B.TS Show Super Chat. We're still on the way to 1,000 subscribers. Once we reach that goal, I will give away $100 to one lucky person, just one. And so you guys know I'm a man of my word. We are almost at 500 subscribers. Once we reach that goal, I will give away $50 to one lucky person. And heads up, participants waive all the rights to privacy, meaning we will be accepting callers in to the show. So keep that in mind. Once you call into the show, all privacy, all privacy rights have been waived. All right. So with that being stated, MB, JR, thank you for coming, man. I appreciate it. Jennifer, you are my MVP. Thank you for rocking out with me. You're the best. So, other than that, people, my name is Christopher J. I will talk to you guys next week. Peace out.